Hi, this is Dr. Kirkland, the Trumpet Professor at Mississippi State University. I'm here to offer some advice to trumpeters who plan to audition in the 2014 audition for the Mississippi Lions Band. There are two etudes that are indicated as audition materials for this audition. The first one that I'm going to talk about is on page 2 in the Voxman book. It's entitled C Major. It's intended to be the slow lyrical etude of the two selections that they want you to play, other than scales. And it's important to pick a tempo for this that is slow enough that you can negotiate some of the technical challenges. I usually play it somewhere around 72 for the quarter note. One of the technical challenges that I'm going to talk about a little bit is the turn that's indicated at the bottom of the page. The turn is the sort of small ornamental notes that come between larger notes, longer notes in this piece. And Gallet does a very good job of showing us exactly how he wants us to play those at the bottom of the page. And we should stick to that. An interesting sideline to this is that if you look at that little symbol in the Arbin book, and the symbol is that little sort of sideways S, you will see that there are two versions of it, one with the sort of tail of the snake pointed downwards and one with it pointed upward. The way Gallet indicates in this solo is actually the opposite of the way Arbin says to play them, but you should definitely stick to the way the composer of this piece wants you to play those turns. They're sometimes called gruppettos, but usually we call them turns. And they are those that are played in a manner such as that, once again, that are indicated at the bottom of the page. The other sort of technical challenge really to this piece, I think, is if you look around the 7th line, you will see that there is no really good place to take a breath, and because of the activity in that line, it's a little hard to play in one breath, especially if you play it at a slow, smooth, lyrical tempo and style that you should. So two of the ways that you can get around that. One is simply to break the tie in the middle of the line, which is not the way it's written, but it can sound pretty good that way if you play it smooth and convincingly. The other way is to simply speed up in that line and do it a cello rondo, which sounds very musical and very appropriate for this particular solo. And then when you slow down in the 8th line, which is about the first 3 measures where you're supposed to slow down, it sounds really nice because you sped up and then you slow down in a nice way at the end. One thing that sort of brings those two technical challenges together that's worthy of mention is right at the end when you have the rallentando, which means to slow down, and you have the little turn between the last few notes. You need to make sure that as you're slowing down that the turn also slows down, so that you play something like. So you see that you're not playing a real fast turn in a slow tempo. It wouldn't sound like it really went together very well. So that's the way I would do those. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to play it entirely, and I'm going to speed up in that next to last line, which is the way I think musically that it should be played. couple of other things that are helpful in playing that solo is to make sure that you don't use hard attacks for the first note. You want to play it very much with a da or a do sort of syllable. You wouldn't want to play, first of all, that'd be too loud, but it would also be much too hard of a tongue. We need to get rid of that sort of harshness. This needs to be very smooth and very lyrical in every possible way. I hope that helps a little bit in your audition preparations.